We're going to go ahead and jump
lot
from
of
the news over to the Western Conference because the NBA season is in full stride,
Yes,
baby.
sir. And
we
this
are
ain't
going
the
to
Western
break down-
Conference, baby, but this is the Heat, baby. You know what I'm
There we
saying,
go. There
baby?
we go. last week, if you guys didn't get a chance to see, we go back on the last episode. We broke down the Eastern Division and we picked our winner of the East. And we'll be talking about them in a little bit. We all chose the Boston Celtics. They looked pretty damn good last night, but we'll definitely get into that one. But right now, we are on the West Coast, and it's the best coast. And let me tell you, man, just looking at the graphic on the screen, if you guys can't see it, if you're not watching it at home, you're listening on the audio version, we're going to start with the Northwest Division. And all the teams in the West just all seem like they're just so much more superior right now than where the East is. But the East has
like that for years.
But just looking out on paper, man, just this division here, the Northwest Division, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves, Utah Jazz, Denver Nuggets, Portland Trailblazers. 3 out of that 5 in those teams in there, all having a legitimate chance to win the West or win the whole thing, you know? And there's not very many divisions. There's not very many divisions in the East to me that have stacked teams like that one. Oklahoma City is looking really damn good. Minnesota just made that deal. What do you guys think of the Minnesota Timberwolves deal? I know we talked about it for the Knicks side last week. What do you guys think of it from the Timberwolves side?
I mean, it feels kind of awkward to me.
To me, like I told you, to me, it seems like that you're trading for the same exact player, honestly.
Yeah.
I just think that Julius Randle is more aggressive than Karl Anthony Towns, and we saw that last night. If you guys watched the game, the New York Knicks against the Celtics, which we'll talk about later, but I just think it was the same type of trade. I don't think each team got worse or each team got better, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I will say with Minnesota side, though, with Randall, I don't think he gives you nearly the floor spacing that Cat gives you. So I would say if there was a quote unquote loser in this trade, I'd probably give it to Minnesota just because you're losing out on having a floor spacer there at the 4 or even 5.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to take a step back this season than they did last season. Obviously, they were a great team last year. But I just don't think that they're ready per se to be that top tier team in the West. They kind of choked a little bit in the playoffs last year. They went deep, but they definitely choked. I think whenever they were in there, Anthony Edwards is a hell of a talent. You guys know I don't necessarily he annoys the hell of me, so I'm going to take a step back. It's only game 1 here. I don't know his game. I think that he thinks he's so much better than he is. That's just me.
Dude, talk about the game, dude. Talk about the game.
Yes, talk about it. We got to talk about this division first.
Talk about the game. He had 5 turnovers last night. I mean,
who else is handling the ball though? Like
Mike Conley. He's one of the best point guards in the league. Why is he trying to do?
Fucking dinosaur, bro. Like, he's out there
point guards in the league.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I don't know about that.
He hasn't been an all-star since like 2013.
Who, Mike Conley?
Yeah. I don't know about that, man. That's a bit much. Like,
I mean, I think Mike Conley's a better ball handler than I would rather have the ball in my hands with Mike Conley as a point guard than I would have Anthony Edwards trying to run the whole show.
I don't know about that. I mean, look, does Mike Conley turn the ball over as much as Ant? No, but I don't think he also makes the plays that Ant does either. Like,
there's no comparison. I'm not comparing the two athletes. I'm just saying in general. I think that they need to figure out what they're going to do with Anthony Edwards. Is Anthony Edwards going to try and do it all? And which it seems like he's trying to.
He shouldn't but that's the thing with any great player. They shouldn't be having to do everything. And I've seen this. We've all seen this throughout NBA history. Anytime you've got a guy that tries to do it all, they can never win it all if they have like a 30-40% usage rate. It's absurd. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be his downfall is that I think he believes the hype in himself and that everybody that's been hyping him so much that he's going to be mistake prone this year and that he's going to try and prove it that he's the face of the league, which I personally think Wemby is the face of the league at this point, honestly, and I think he's going to be taking it over by the end of the year. We'll be talking about Wemby more than talking about Ant, but that's later on for a discussion.
But what's the conversation? Because now we shifted. Are we talking about that he's not a great player? Or are you talking about that he's the face of the league?
Okay, fine. I think he is a very good player. I don't think he's great yet.
I think he's great.
I think he's great too, and I don't think he's the face of the league 100%.
No, I think
LeBron is still around until LeBron retires. LeBron is the face of the league. No one else is the face of the league, in my opinion.
I don't know that you got a 3-time MVP. Like they're almost could have won it. Well, could have been 4 in a row. And then you got, like you said, I'm not gonna say Wemby's the face of the league. He ain't there yet. Like, could he take it by the end of the year? No, I don't think so. But there's definitely a lot of other players in this league too, like not just LeBron. But yeah, Ant has quite a few people to get through before he's the face of the league.
Yeah,
Quite
yeah.
a
I don't
few.
think he'll be the face of the league. I don't even know if ever,
I
but
don't even.
he's
I
Yeah,
don't
I
even.
agree with that. I can
he's
totally get on board with
definitely
that.
he's definitely top 10 player in the league though.
Yeah.
Like
To me,
Right.
he's not even the best two guard in the league. I'll talk about who I think's the best two guard. He'll also be my MVP pick. Spoiler alert later on, but
no,
yeah.
let's hear it now. No. Let me hear that now. Who is the
What
best who's the best two guard?
best two guard? I think Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I think so. Like the way
But he's not a
he
two guard. He's a point.
he kind of plays like a combo guard, kind of like, and that's the other thing. Like, what is a point guard? What is a shooting guard? To me, I've just always seen him as a two because he's the guy that's going to be taking the shots. He's the guy, like, yeah, he handles the ball a lot too, but he's taking the majority of the shots. Same thing like with Kyrie. Like he traditionally used to play point. Now he's shooting the ball a lot. Like that's his job. So it's one of those things. The style of basketball we have, it's so difficult now to call it like that. But I would
So the
say
best guard, you would say the best guard then.
it for me, I would say it's between like him and Luca, and and I think whichever one I would say I'd give the slight edge to Shea just because he gives you not only the scoring punch, but he also gives you defense, and that's something that I really haven't seen as much from Luca. Like the playmaking, Luca's got him for sure, but for me, I value a two-way player more than I value the two-way impact a little bit more than the playmaking scoring combo, just a little bit because you
Well,
got
I
to
would
play both
say
sides.
Ant's a better two-way player than Shea is.
I don't know though.
I
I
don't
mean,
think so.
Ant's got the.
I'd take Shea over Ant.
Look at the
I
stats when we get off here. Look at the
yeah.
stats.
Oh
Look at the
yeah.
stats.
Look,
When
because
it comes to
Shea, I
blocking,
think.
when it comes
I mean,
to blocking,
I brought it up last year, and everybody was giving Ant his whole thing. He wasn't even top 3 in MVP. Like, how does this guy think he's in the top with these guys? It was Luca,
Well,
it was Jokic, and Shea, SGA. He didn't make the top 5.
But Shea is playing with guys that weren't ball dominant like Karl Anthony Towns and
yeah.
I'm not gonna say Rudy Gobert, obviously, but Nas Reed coming off the bench, while
Yeah.
Shea was running the show, and like
Yeah.
how BC says, he's taking most of the shots. That's why he's considered MVP, and
Well,
because OKC went from a playing team to number 2 in the West, and
Yeah.
the West is deep.
Well, they were number 1.
Yeah. Yeah, they were number one.
That's right. They became
They were
number
1,
one.
Yeah.
and then
But
Minnesota
they
was
weren't number
two.
1 the whole time. The whole time, Minnesota was number 1
Yeah, but they came in at the
until
end.
the last week, until the last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and Shea, he was taking the most of the shots, but also too, like there were other guys that were taking shots on that team too. It wasn't like he was just hogging the ball to himself, and he shot at a great rate. Like his efficiency was very elite, I think, for his position. And then on top of that,
But he
I
don't
would
shoot
say,
threes. Shoots threes. Shea shoots like one or two threes a game.
Yeah.
Ant shoots like 6 or 7. So it's like,
but how many does he can? I will say
Yeah,
though, how many does he
I think
convert
last
on?
night he went 3 for 5, I believe it is, maybe, or
Yeah.
something,
he
or
went like
3
3
for
for
7
5.
or
Yeah.
something along those lines.
But also too, Shea,
make
as
3.
far as two-way impact, I think he's also an underrated defender as well. He was like, I want to
He
say
is.
either
He is.
first or tied for first in steals last year. So he
But he
definitely
gets no blocks, and Ant
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Which is why I think he's a better two-way player. And the
Mm.
defensive rating, like when he
Yeah,
covers
that's true.
people, people miss more shots than Shea when they're covering them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel it. But then again, if he's pickpocketing the ball from them, not even giving the chance to shot, that's
Yeah,
another thing to
That's
consider. So
yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things. Like it's not for me. It's not like leaps and bounds because again, like the top 10 for the NBA, to me, it's close. It's not like this guy, like Shea is just 2 or 3 leagues ahead of Ant. Like they
Yeah.
are very neck and neck. I just give Shea the slight edge just because again, I think that his ability to pickpocket, which is what you want from your guards, and then also to his ability to put the ball in the basket. I just value that a little more. But
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, Northwest.
But
Division
I think
is
Shea's more of
sucks.
a one guard than a two guard. I think Ant is more of the two guard, which is why Mike Conley starts. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, I think honestly nowadays the way basketball is, we don't really necessarily even have like point and shooting guards anymore. You're just a
guards,
guard,
forwards,
and centers.
really.
Yeah, not even centers now. They're just dunkers. Like they just
Yeah,
occupy
it's
the
just
dunker
big men.
spot.
Big men.
Yeah, that's it. So,
Yeah, last year Shea was fourth in the league in scoring, and Anthony Edwards was 11 in the league in scoring. So it's not like you're splitting hairs in here. It's off by a couple points a game or so, something along those areas in there.
Well,
But
defense is a little different, but yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
Handling the ball more than, of course, taking way more.
Yeah, I mean, the future is definitely bright for the two. I think they'll be going neck and neck and battling it out, especially in the same division. I mean, it's pretty impressive to have two guards that young of age.
Matchup.
OKC made it out like bandits with the trades they made. They got him from. He actually technically was on the Clippers, and the Clippers didn't know what they realized that they had. And Oklahoma City. When they were picking up all those draft picks and stuff, they got them. So that was a great move in that one. All right, so let's go ahead and pick this division. Unless there's anything else in the Northwest you guys want to talk about, do you think Denver is back, or is this between the Timberwolves and Thunder, or is Denver still in this?
No, Denver is always going to be you can't take away from Jokic. You can't do that.
Yeah. But I think that with what they've lost, though, not just this past year, but over the last couple years, though, I would say they'll still be a dangerous team come playoff time. But I think in terms of just regular season standings, I think that it's going to be mostly between Minnesota and OKC.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and pick that division then, I guess. I'm going to go OKC. I think OKC is set up, and they have a damn good squad. I like the way they're set up with, and I really love SGA.
Yep, I agree. OKC's got Northwest Division, like you said, 1 through 5. That is almost as complete a team as you could have in the league.
Yeah, I'm gonna go OKC. I think they have more ballers than Timberwolves do. The Timberwolves got like 3, maybe 4 ballers, while OKC they got like 8 deep. So that's hard to compete with.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the Southwest Division, which has the Western Conference Finals champions, and happen to be my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks. This division is a very interesting division here as well, man. You got the New Orleans Pelicans, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Memphis Grizzlies, San Antonio Spurs, Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets. It's damn near all Texas. They could have maybe just called this in the Texas South or whatever the hell you want to call it. But anyways, man, there's a lot of interesting dynamics with this. So Memphis, I think, is going to make a big leap, man. It's going to be time to finally see if Ja Morant can mature and hopefully play the full season, not get himself in trouble and realize, I have all this talent and I'm just wasting it by being immature. But I really love what they picked up in Zach Edey as well. So I think Memphis has been one of those quiet teams that people kind of just forgot about because of Ja Morant's been out, let's face it. So yeah, and then also you got Zion. We'll see what he's finally going to do in New Orleans. He keeps on. I've never been a big Zion guy either. I feel like I'm a hater of everybody all like the popular guys. I feel like everybody thinks I'm a hater on it, but I just haven't been. I just don't believe in Zion either.
I don't drinking the haterade.
He doesn't. I guess so, man. I'm a former Gators fan. I know about Gatorade, so yeah, I'll drink in the haterade. Zion hasn't done anything for me either, man. He has all kinds of. He's athletic as all hell. Can give you some highlights, but he just needs to get him. He can't stay healthy, can't stay in shape. I mean, it's flat out. I mean, how are you going to put the franchise on a guy that can't keep himself healthy and in shape? Healthy, he can't really do anything about. I just mean in shape. Has he completed a full season yet?
But when he plays, what do you think about his game?
He kind of reminds me of a throwback a little bit. He's developing a shot a little bit more, but he mainly is a in the paint, 2 feet away from the basket kind of guy because he's a massive dude. I don't know how sustainable that is, especially with the new NBA. I mean, hell, look at the game last night. I don't think anybody even steps foot past 30 feet anymore. So he plays an old school mentality, plays an old school way. I don't know if it's sustainable, honestly. I don't know with where the new NBA is and the speed and how they're playing, if everybody's shooting threes and he's just taking 2-foot shots, if that's really going to be the guy that's going to take them over the hump.
Yeah. Well, supposedly he lost a lot of weight. Like he was putting in work in the offseason. I think he dropped like 20 pounds. Like instead, like he usually clocks into like 280. Yeah, it's like he clocks in at like 285, but like now he's clocking in like close to like 260, somewhere around there, which I mean, shoot, for me, if you took Shaq and compressed him down, like you just took him and shrunk him, like tried to like really cram all the mass together in a smaller human being, you get Zion Williamson. He's just that massive of a human being at 6'6" or 6'7". Like it
kind of reminds me of Charles Barkley a little bit.
Yeah, that too. I just the thing of the sheer dominance though too that he has, like in terms of scoring, like he easily 60, 65 field goal percentage, like in
Mhm.
this league is difficult. And I think with him, again, losing the weight will help. If he can just be 255, 260, just shredded, he's good. He doesn't have to worry about a thing. Um, and then on top of that, if he can find a way, I feel like honestly, like you're saying, like he's more of that classic style of center or that classic style of player. Just make him the center for the team and just surround him with shooters. Just surround him with guys that can just spread the floor out, and then all he has to worry about catching lobs, catching rebounds, offensive rebounds, and then just let him cook, let him dunk.
Is that
Honestly,
he's too short for that. That's why you can't put him at center. That's
Yeah.
why you gotta have someone like Jonas Valanciunas out there so he can grab boards defensively
yeah,
and offensively. But with Zion,
yeah,
my thing with Zion, I agree with you both. Like he is an old school mentality player, like a Sean Kemp type. If he
Yeah.
that
develops
Perfect
a
too.
shot,
example.
if he develops a shot, he's gonna be crazy, crazy disgusting. But right now,
Yep,
we have yet to see that. But
Yeah.
yep,
we'll go
well,
off of his game right now, and his game right now, no one can cover this guy, bro.
yeah,
This guy is crazy athletic. Yes,
yep,
his weight is a problem, and his health is a problem because best availability is the
Availability.
availability, yeah,
yeah,
on the court, exactly. But
yep,
when he's on the court and he is healthy, no one can guard him inside the paint. He dunks on
yeah,
everybody. He makes crazy athletic movements to get crazy layups,
yep,
and he drops easily 20 to 25 points a game, grabs
yep,
8 rebounds, and dishes like 3 assists. And it's like,
yep.
to me, that's a great player, honestly.
Yeah, and
Now,
again,
if he
oh
develops a shot, if he dev-
yes,
if he
Yeah, I'd
develops
be
a
totally
shot, if
on
he
board. If he can
develops,
develop a shot,
yeah,
I would totally change my attitude
well,
about how he is. Otherwise, he's a big guy that just takes 2 foot shots. I mean, you
yeah,
can find it.
but no one can
He
cover him.
doesn't do anything for me as far as moving the needle for them to be a championship contender. I think
yeah.
No,
he's a talented
they
player and athletic guy, but otherwise, I don't think he does anything to make them that much better.
I
I
mean,
just
I disagree. I think he grabs a lot of rebounds. He scores a lot in the paint that no one can cover him. If you surround him with guys like Bi, that's supposed to be taking 3 point
yeah,
shots and drive to the basket, and now you bring in DeJounte Murray that he can facilitate the offense and he can score at will as well, and he's a great two-way player. I think
yep.
that's a great recipe for a great
You
team.
yeah, you need
They were second seed for the first 4 weeks until Bi got injured, and then
yeah.
Zion got injured. So
Yeah, you need the ability. His best style is when he's playing downhill. When he can either when he's at the dunker spot and he's catching lobs, or get him going downhill on the alley oops, get him going on some pick and rolls, get him again. This is where developing the shot is so good. Imagine he's at the 3 point line. You got to have a defender come up and respect him because he can shoot. Let him drive wide open lane. He's going full head of steam, 260, just coming in like
exactly.
full head of steam. It's over.
It's
You're
like
not
LeBron
stopping
his
that.
first 5 years.
Yeah, except he's not as tall, but he is every bit as big, if not bigger. So it's like it's one of those things, a lower center of gravity. He is going to be more difficult to push and move around because of that.
Yep.
So it's scary.
Well, Zion actually. So, if you want to know, just to put it in perspective, last year's stats: 22.9 points a game. That's 20th in the league. 5.8 rebounds. That's 53rd in the league.
Yeah.
5 assists. That's 40th in the league. 57% shooting, which is fourth. 14th in the league. And according to ESPN, he played 70 games last year. So
Yeah.
that was he actually, I guess, did make it all the way through the year. I didn't think he did last year. Surprise, surprise.
Got
Or
him.
no, he played 70 games. He was
Gotta
out
watch the
12.
games, baby. Gotta watch the games, baby.
Respectful, man.
I mean, but
Yeah.
still, does those numbers go off? I mean, so he missed 12 games. I mean,
Yeah.
LeBron misses 20 games and still is averaging better than that, So, I mean, this kid
But
is.
LeBron's a better NBA player than Zion is. Like, let's be
Yeah.
real.
So what's Zion's claim to fame then? What does he do good?
He's a athletic. He grabs boards. He dunks and makes layups on anybody. No one can
Flash
cover him.
plays. Yeah.
He drops literally 27 and 3 a game. That's good.
He averaged 22.9 and let's see, 5.8 rebounds. So, I mean,
Yeah.
That's still
But again,
good, though.
and he does that, and
it's
he
good
can
for 58th in the league
I
for
mean,
rebounds, and that's supposed to be his thing.
Yeah, but and he does need to work on that. But as far as just sticking with the scoring though, he can give you 20, 25 a night, anywhere from upper 50s to low 60s in terms of efficiency. Like that is a very dangerous player to have, a very dangerous tool to have in the toolbox. He does need to work, and I think this is where losing the weight will help. You give him more elevation, he's able to get those rebounds that he wasn't able to get before. He's also able to keep up on defense better than he was able to before, especially now guarding like 4s and 5s. Like I think that losing, the key to him is keeping this weight off, making sure he's in the best shape of his life, and I think that the results are going to speak for themselves.
Yep, and staying on the court. Definitely.
All right, well, then we also got the San Antonio Spurs, who got, I think,
that's opposite player.
What's that?
I said they have the exact opposite player, tall and lanky.
Yeah. And so, speaking of
short and thick, tall and lanky.
Speaking of Victor Wembanyama, the rumor is that he gained a lot of muscle and a lot of weight coming in this year. So he's looking a hell of a lot different apparently this year. I haven't got a chance to see any Spurs game. They're playing tomorrow. I didn't really watch too much of the preseason, but apparently he's looking pretty good, pretty shredded. I think this sky is the absolute, I don't even know I think he's already touching the sky because he's that damn big. If you get what I mean. But having said that, man, I just got a lot of faith in Victor Wembanyama. I like his attitude. I think that the fact of he wants to win, and he, for such a young age, he is very mature and wants to be a baller, man. I really like his game. I think he should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. And so we're going to be talking about awards later on in a little bit, not too far from now. But yeah, I love Victor Wembanyama's game. Unfortunately for him, it's going to be a couple of years, I think, before the Spurs are actually truly dominant. I think he can single-handedly take over a lot of games, though. I really like his game. I think Chris Paul going there is one of the best moves they could have made. And it's not even the fact of, like, Chris Paul is, he's another Mike Conley, like he's just a for sure point guard, but the things that he can teach him and the, just how he sees the game, I think could go a long way for a young player like Victor, man. What do you guys think about the Spurs this year?
I mean, at this point,
Chris Paul's way better than Mike Conley.
I mean, at this point in his career,
man, you really don't like Mike Conley, man.
Bro, Mike Conley was an all-star for like 1 year. Chris Paul has been an all-star like 13 times.
Chris Paul's like one of the greatest point guards of all time.
He's our first ballot Hall of Famer.
I mean, you could argue that maybe I think at this point, maybe you could argue at this point in their careers, they're both kind of similar. They're not going to be that lead ball handler anymore. They're going to be that veteran presence. That's fine. But yeah, Wemby for sure is going to take steps this year. And I'm torn on whether or not he's gonna. I'm torn on whether or not he should have won the award last. I mean, I think screw that. He should have won it last year. But just the way the media and everybody votes on the awards, it's kind of a flawed system, but it is what it is. But he's gonna take more steps. I'm excited to see what beefier Wemby looks like. Hopefully, he doesn't get bullied as much. Honestly, just quick fun thought: how crazy of a team up of Zion and Wemby would be. Like that would be absolutely insane. You could not have two of the most polar opposite players, but I would love it. They're like the two freakiest specimens in the league on the same team. I would love it. But yeah, San Antonio is going to have a good year. They're going to take some steps for sure. I don't know if that'll be enough for playoff contention, but I think that they'll definitely continue to be on the up and up for sure.
Yeah, no, they're not getting into playoffs for nothing. But I do like the fact that CP3 is there with Wemby. He's going to teach him a lot. Wemby's gonna learn a lot from him. He's gonna take like the next 5 levels up and becoming an NBA professional player, and he's gonna do wonders with Chris Paul, man. That pick and roll game game is gonna be serious, bro. Wemby, all you gotta do is go to the 3 or go to the basket. One or the other, you're getting the ball and you're gonna make the shot, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to say, wasn't it Bam in the preseason? I think it was whenever they threw that alley-oop or something like that, and he just kind of like moved out the way. I want to say it was against Miami or something. They got that first like alley-oop that he got, and he was like, "Damn, this dude is big" or something. He was just talking about how big he was. It was a pretty funny little clip. I can't remember exactly who it was. Might have been Bam, might have been somebody else, but. Yeah, San Antonio, I think, is like maybe 1, maybe 2 seasons away from being back to the old Spurs, but they got a great piece in Victor Wembanyama, and I'm glad that he's had better fates than the other couple of French players that came out, man, because they didn't look very good or very ready, man. So Wemby looks pretty damn good. So we got my Dallas Mavericks, man. They made a big move in the offseason. They got Klay Thompson. They did lose Derrick Jones Jr., which I was disappointed in because he was a big factor in them getting to the finals last year. after that major trade they did. Yeah, I love the Klay Thompson trade. Kind of like how we were talking about DeAndre Hopkins. I do wish this was also 3 to 4 years ago, Klay. But having said that, man, I just want to see Klay shoot. I think this is going to open up the space for Dallas a lot. Now you're going to have who are you going to you're going to have to still respect Klay from the three. And I hope that's all he does, man. I don't want to see Klay doing much of anything. Don't get hurt. Just shoot the damn ball, buddy. That's all I need you to do. Don't guard. I don't even care to guard anybody. Just shoot threes, man. That is literally all you're here for. It's to put up points. Give me 15 to 16 points a game, and that's all we need from Klay Thompson, honestly. If he can defend, because that's going to be Dallas's biggest weakness. And as a Mavs fan, I am very nervous about the defense. It's few and far from between here, man.
Well, and I think the position that they have him set up in, like he'd play the small forward, in my opinion. So like I don't think you necessarily have to worry about him having to guard the quick guards anymore. You can just, he's a bit bigger. He's about like 6'7", about 205, 210. So he can step out and guard the three for sure. And then I could we honestly say like this might be the best wing trio in the league? Like, it's pretty scary. Like you said, the offense is going to be scary. The defense. Yeah, offense is gonna be great. Defense, but that's never been Dallas's like forte. That's never been what they've relied on. So, you did the things you had to do to make what you're great at even greater. And I think Klay will still be able to do enough on defense because he's not going to be asked to do as much on offense. I still think he can contribute enough at a solid level to where he's not a net negative on defense.
I don't know, man. A lot of people were giving Luka crap for not playing defense and being a little chubby and going out there. And he went on the offseason. He lost some weight, man. He's looking slim. So what if he's taking defense way more seriously now?
Yeah.
This guy becomes a great defender. That would be
he
awesome
does.
for Dallas, man, because like Steve said, Derrick Jones Jr. is out of there. So who's got to step up on defense is PJ Washington. And even though PJ Washington's defense is pretty good, but now he's going to play more minutes. So now we're going to see if he can sustain that throughout the whole game while still putting up from the three-point corner and try to hit three-point shots. Obviously, Klay comes in, he's going to take less shots, 100%, but he's still going to have to put up at least 2 or 3 a game. And if he could hit those consistently while stopping the best player on the other team, because he's going to cover the best player, dude, it's a recipe for success out there, man. And if Luka, if he's actually out there playing defense, man, 6'10" guarding a 6'2" guard, 6'3" guard, it's going to be a little faster than you. But once he gets into the paint, you could block him. So it'll be pretty dope.
And also, too, nobody has shown the ability to heat up over the course of a single quarter, even a single half, like Klay Thompson. So it's one of those things like you just need him to. You would need him to get hot like maybe once or twice the whole season. But when he does, like, just dish it out, boom, boom, boom. He's gonna cook. But if Luka is able to translate the physique change to the defensive end, I think my MVP pick is going to be in trouble. Just spoilers ahead for that. But yeah, a slimmer, leaner, meaner Luka, especially on the defensive end, is going to be terrible for the rest of the league.
Terrible for the league.
Yeah, and I think going to that finals, I think made him grow up a little bit, and I think in the NBA, of more than most sports, baseball might be up there. I know NFL just because it's such a grown man sport, but I really think the NBA maturity matters. And I think that you can easily throw a game, and Luka definitely did not have the greatest of finals. He still was amazing, but his demeanor, how he was acting, he looked like a crybaby out there most of the time. It was almost embarrassing being a Luka and a Dallas fan sometimes. And afterwards, they set him down, they talked to him, and you can see the difference in him towards the end of the game. You see him making jokes about yelling at the ref. But so I really think that going to the finals, getting that experience, getting that out the way, getting it under your belt at such a young age is going to help him out in his career leaps and bounds. And I really have a lot of high hopes for them. So yeah, I'm going with this in this division. I'm going with Dallas again to win this division. Houston, you guys got any thoughts on Houston?
That's my That's my sleeper team right there. They're a young team that
Houston.
They're a young team that works together well. The second half of the season, they're doing really well. They score at will. They hustle. They're great hustle players on that squad. I like the fact that Fred VanVleet now has a little chemistry with that squad after 1 year. Now he's going to have a more leadership role, even though he already had it, but now he has to really grow into it, and he's going to be leading the way there. I think that's going to be my sleeper team for the play-in, and they actually win the play-in game and actually become the 8th or 7th seed in the Western Conference.
See, if I'm picking a sleeper team from like the West, I'm actually going to lean Memphis just because, again, you're getting Ja back. You're getting, I think as well as Zach Edey, the addition, that's going to be a very underrated move, especially like draft pick. I think that he's going to fit in almost flawlessly with the way this team is set up because now you've got Jaren Jackson back at the 4. Like, I think that having those two together, it's going to be a defensive nightmare for any team, especially you try to come in the paint. And then again, Triple J is like so great at being able to step out and switch as well. It's they're going to be deadly. But I do think at the end of the day, the Southwest Division does run through Dallas still.
Yeah, no.
By the way, Mike Conley averaged 11.4 points a game. So show some love, damn it.
11.4 points per game.
11.4 points a game. 2
That's not good at all. That's not good at all.
2.9 rebounds when your boy Anthony Ant only averaged 5.8. So, I mean, the guy's played for 30-some years.
Double.
And he's averaging 3 more rebounds.
What are you
double.
trying to say there?
Conley
Because
some
it's
love,
not helping
man.
your argument.
He's not double the height, but he's averaging
I'm just
double the
saying Mike
boards.
Conley's awesome, man. Give Mike Conley some love.
Mike
Anyway.
Conley is awesome. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just saying that you said he was one of the best point guards in the league.
Yeah.
I'm saying
We're calling you out on that
he's
one, man.
He's a great point guard. I would love to have him as a point guard.
He's a good point guard, but he's not one of the
He's
best
solid.
point guards.
Solid to good.
I mean, it's getting taken out of context. I mean, obviously, you can name off 15 other point guards you'd rather have better. I'm saying as a true point guard, though, I think
you
Mike
say
Conley's a great
one of the
guard.
best point guards, and that means that he should be an all-star.
Tell us in
that he has to be an all-star, no?
Tell us in the comments section. What's your metric for being
What does
great?
that mean? What does it mean when you say, fans out there, what does it mean when you say one of the best point guards? Tell me what that means, please.
And tell us how cocky Steve is for saying. I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm gonna get eaten alive for this, and I can already.
No, I just think
I can already feel it coming because it's gonna get taken completely out of context. But it's all good.
Let it. The internet always wins.
I truly believe that you meant to say it another way, but what you said was he's one of the best point guards in the league, dude. Like,
I know we got to roast you on that one, man. You got to hold the L on that one.
It happens. We all get roasted.
Yeah.
Look at me last week with the Cowboys.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's fine. I like Mike Conley. I mean,
I like Mike Conley too. I like Mike Conley too. Didn't say I didn't like him.
Well, we got one more division out here in the West. We got the Pacific Division that's consisting of the Los Angeles Lakers, Sacramento Kings. What's got?
Real quick, I was gonna say this before we went into that. I agree with BC about the Memphis Grizzlies, but do we really think they're a sleeper team? Because the Grizzlies were great. It's just John Moran decided to show his gun on the live cam, and they kicked him out for a while. They suspended him. But do we really think they're a sleeper team, or do we think they're a great team like they were for the past few years?
I think that a lot of people will sleep on them because I think that they're just gonna think Ja's gonna be immature and he's just gonna do something to shoot himself in the foot. No pun intended there. But like I think that honestly, honestly though, I feel like that's a lot of people are just gonna think he's still gonna be immature. It's gonna screw the team over. I don't think a lot of people believe in his ability to rise up and to, take that step forward and to show maturity and to just put the past behind him and move on. I think differently, but I also like to think I'm a little bit more positive than most, but we'll see.
Well, to that case in point, I do believe that he matured and he missed the game and he wanted to be a part of the game truly. And he does not want to be away from the game anymore. And, you surround yourself with people that do some crazy, idiotic things that shouldn't be seen. You got to separate yourself from those people. And I've heard rumors that he has actually. He has separated himself. So I think he is going to be more mature. And, bro, he's going to come out. No pun intended. He's going to come out shooting. He's going to come out shooting.
I knew you were going to say something like that. But, yeah, life lessons with G-Mike right here, man. Don't surround yourselves with good people, kids. Surround yourselves with good people.
Exactly.
And don't say Mike Conley is a great point guard. That'll get you
not around us.
That's not what you said. That's not what you said.
We're still not moving on. We gotta let it go, man.
We got the Pacific Division, man. We got the Los Angeles Lakers, the Sacramento Kings, the Los Angeles Clippers, Golden State Warriors, and Phoenix Suns. This is a pretty wild division here too, man. I feel like the Kings have just been scratching at this to try to take over this top spot because the Suns have been constantly been injured. Since they made those moves, it just seems like it hasn't worked out. And Golden State is just not what they used to be, but damn, Golden State is still good, and Steph Curry is still playing out of his mind right now. What do you guys think of this division here, man? This is a really difficult one to, I think, kind of pick out of here.
Well, last season, and I would say the season before too, but this whole division has no defense and no depth. Okay? And maybe this year it'll be a little bit different. It'll be a little bit different this year, maybe. But that's what it was the past 2 seasons. And I hope it changes, because the Lakers, they look really great yesterday. And Anthony Davis has shown that when he's healthy, he's the best big man out there on the floor. And there's no debate about that. And the Sacramento Kings, they bring in DeMar DeRozan, a little veteran leadership out there that they actually needed. But they have no defense. Their perimeter defense is pretty sorry. So let's see how they're going to do this season. Los Angeles Clippers, they lose Paul George, and they're a little bit kind of the same team. Now James Harden has to play more of a role. Now you're going to see him take more shots. He's going to make a little more and stuff like that. And we don't know what's up with Kawhi Leonard. That guy is a part-time basketball player getting paid millions of dollars to not be on the court. And then the Golden State Warriors, they lose Klay Thompson. So now Jonathan Kuminga has to step up his role. Draymond Green still doesn't have an offensive game, which sucks for them. Steph Curry, he's already old, so he's going to have to prove that he could still really ball with these guys, and he showed it in the Olympics, so I'm not taking that away from him, but now it's an 82-game season. It's going to be different. And then the Phoenix Suns have no depth. They haven't had depth for a while. We got to see what's up with Bradley Beal, if he's going to turn into the old Bradley Beal or be the same as last season when he came back from the injury. And they got no defense as well. So this whole Pacific division to me just screams no defense, no depth.
Turnstiles.
Specifically,
that's all. Yeah, I mean, I will say I think the best defense coming out of this division is going to be LA for sure, because you got Anthony Davis, like G Mike said, he's the best big man in the league. When he's on that floor, he's at his peak. And honestly, just to make this one quick, I think it's going to be just a 2-team race for this division. It's going to be Sacramento. It's going to be LA. And I think, honestly, just because of the veteran leadership that LA has, I think that's going to be enough for them to win this division. And I think as much as Sacramento tries to beat Big Brother down south in LA, like they tried it back in 2001, didn't happen, obviously falling to them in the Western Conference Finals. I don't think it's going to happen this time either. I think that LA is going to, show again, like, their veteran leadership, their veteran pedigree is going to be enough to, carry them over the top of this division. The Clippers, they're going to try. I don't see Kawhi being healthy enough. I don't see Harden, at this stage in his career being able to do enough to carry this team. And then as sad as it is to say, I hate saying this, but I don't see the Warriors as a threat anymore. Like I haven't seen them as a threat for a couple of years, but Steph is still going to ball out. He's still going to do his thing. It just sucks that there's nothing much more they're going to be able to do right now with him on this team, because he deserves better than this. And then Phoenix, I'm not even worried about them.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's. I don't think that this division in particular in the West really is just. It's so
definitely the weakest.
It could go so many different directions here. On paper, Phoenix should probably win it just because you had your top three, the top 3 players they have there. But I kind of like Sacramento. I think Sacramento is going to make that a little bit of a leap. I think San Francisco, Sacramento is going to win the Pacific. I like Fox and Sabonis, and So what do you guys think? Who you guys picking on for the Pacific?
Pacific. Nah, like I said, I think it's LA. LA's going to win it, and then Sacramento will be a close 2. But I give it to LA the nod.
Yeah, I got the Lakers too. I think
safe pick. Makes sense.
They got a little more depth than the rest of the teams, but even then they're kind of a little shaky. Braun's gonna be Braun. Reeves showed me yesterday that he stepped up a little bit and he's gonna take more shots and be more aggressive. And then D'Lo, we got to see what's up with him because he's always inconsistent. But if Anthony Davis stays healthy, the Lakers are definitely taking this division.
All
And
right. Well, just as a slight recap for the Northwest, we all had the Thunder. For
Yep.
the Southwest, I believe we all went Dallas.
yep.
And for the Pacific, I'm taking the Kings, and the rest of you guys are taking the Lakers. So
Yep.
now we get the divisions done. Let's go ahead and go for all of them, man. The Western Conference champion is going to be my Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks, I think, are going to redo it again. It's going to be a very close race. I think that the finals are going to be the Thunder and the Mavericks. I think that Luka is going to have a hell of a year and play out of his mind, and that going to the finals really helped him out. BC, what's your pick, man, for the West?
I got OKC winning this one. I think that Shea is going to play out of his mind, and I think that combined with just how deep this team is, I think that no other team in the Western Conference is going to be able to stand up to OKC. The West is going to run through them.
I love that pick, man. I was going to go OKC, but I'm sticking. George kind of
Homer,
convinced me a
man.
little bit.
You're a homer,
Yeah.
man. I got to tip the hat to you.
I'm gonna go the Mavericks. I think Jason Kidd is gonna put a tougher defensive mentality on this whole squad, and especially on his leader, Luka Doncic. And then bringing in Klay Thompson, which was something that you guys lacked throughout the playoffs, on 3-point shooting and another consistent score next to Kyrie and Luka. He's gonna help with that. He'll probably drive 15 points per game, and they're gonna go back to the finals for sure.
I like it. I'm loving it.